topic of today's talk is about how to live comparison-free from social media, because I don't think it's any secret, is it, that we're really in an epidemic of comparison at the moment. When you think about, you know, the power couple of social media and technology coming together, it is throwing up all sorts of problems and considerations that no generation before have ever really had to deal with or consider. And so if you're feeling a little bit like, I don't know what I'm doing and why I'm acting like this, welcome to the human race, because we are all figuring it out as we go along. But when I was asked, like, how are you? I was like, yeah, I'm great. And I couldn't move the conversation on fast enough. I just did not really, I didn't want to discuss what was going on behind the scenes for me. It was too raw, it was too tender, and my comparison was starting to, almost like a snake going up my trouser, like, was starting to really take hold of me and how I felt about myself, how I felt about life. So 24 hours passed, I pick up my phone and my social media looks very, very different. And that phone comparison really got me in the trap and dragged me down. And I kind of compare it to a visual analogy, which is, you know, if you've seen that classic movie Jaws and there's a woman in the sea and she kind of goes left and right and then suddenly she goes down, that's kind of how I felt like it was. I just really lost myself in scrolling, and I would, you know, find myself 3 years deep in, you know, ex-friends or old friends' holiday photos. I would know exactly what people had done all weekend from where they tagged in, and it got pretty dark. And so it got to a point about 4 or 5 years ago or so, having had this year of just feeling like my brain was completely in a vice and becoming quite obsessed, actually, I will say. That it was a Saturday afternoon, and I remember my phone was really hot from scrolling, and I think I was like fully clothed under the duvet or something really aspirational like that. I was like very much not living my best life. And I did hear this little voice kind of saying, like, this has got to stop. And I don't know what part of me that was, and I kind of almost thinking maybe it was my soul, but something clicked its fingers and was like, enough of this now, this has to stop. And I started to think, okay, well, it's not gone away, but if I could think and feel myself into this, could I think and feel myself out of it? And that's where I really started to try and turn it into a puzzle, to try and understand myself as well. I don't know about you, but, you know, social media is really challenged by high opinions of how I communicate. Like, well, would I say that? Would I post that? Is that interesting? Should I direct message them? Because it just throws open so many conversations for us. Of course, as well, one of the key things that can really be difficult to navigate as we kind of find our way to is around the filter factor that goes with things and how much access we have to people's lives, because it hasn't always been like this. I mean, if we think about maybe our parents or grandparents' generation, if someone from their, let's call it, you know, remit or friendship group was doing particularly well, or if they were, you know, going to airports a lot, because everyone was a good tag on holiday, don't they? Everyone's got to be guilty of that. But, you know, if they were turning left on planes, etc., or really kind of living a successful life, whatever that meant for them, people might find out about it anecdotally, like summer parties, but that might have been talked about by chance if you happen to hear the conversation, and by the time the party's over, it's a bit of a rumour and it just kind of goes into the ether. But we don't get the choice to kind of disengage from that, because people are sharing their lives all the time, which is great, and yet it's a version of a truth. I participate wholly. I don't know if anyone's ever taken a selfie first time around and thought, that's the one. It ain't me, if that's the case. I will be very open. I've gone into double figures to achieve a selfie, and I've been open about that too. So we all participate in it. So something I became aware of this personally is I was with my friend's little girl and we were taking pictures, and she was holding it out and doing a selfie, and she kept saying, no, not that one, no, not that one. I thought, you know, she's 5 years old, she's got a beautiful smile, one picture, I mean, I might have had my eyes closed, yeah, take it again, but shouldn't she know that her smile in that first instant is enough? And it was interesting because then I think I was, you know, out and about one day and I saw a mum having the same experience with her daughter saying, no, let's take another one. So through no malice and no intention, we're giving out these signals of not quite good enough, not quite good enough, when how can a 5-year-old ever be anything but absolutely perfect in every single way? So we don't need any help learning these behaviours, but unfortunately we are kind of giving them that. So I think it's really important to highlight that too, because like I said, there's no malice in it, but we can try and break some of these habits down, and hopefully they won't kind of repeat further. Now, everyone will have a different comparison voice, as is probably very clear. Mine was a bit like having a talking parrot on my shoulder. It was continuous and always on. It's like having a radio always on, until I was able to move away from that, which I was very grateful for. But one of the things I wanted to kind of share with you is that if you do feel comparison, it's not because you're weak or because you haven't got stuff going on in your life or that you lack focus. It affects us all, and the difficult thing about it is it affects our deep-rooted beliefs about ourselves too. So for example, just say you see a friend that started a health journey and they're doing really well, and you fell off the bandwagon other times. Well, comparison could grab that and say, yeah, but you've never been good at being healthy, have you? Or just say, you start a new relationship and it's going really well, and you just get past the point where it usually maybe gets a bit rocky. The comparison will say, yeah, let's see how you're going to mess this up compared to your friends that seem to have it all together. So our comparison knows us really well. It's smart because we are. But that's good, because if we notice though it's the voice, it means it can't be us. It's also irrational but persistent. So for example, we did an exercise once in a workshop, and we were talking about this. It's called like a fear ladder, and you start with what one of your fears are. So the woman in question said that she's really scared of public speaking. Well, why are you scared of public speaking? Because if I have to go and do this meeting and I mess it up, I'll lose my job. Okay, and then what will happen? Well, if I lose my job, I'll lose my family and I'll lose my house, and then I'll be homeless, and then I'll die. And we were like, okay, let's go back. Public speaking to death in 5 steps, people. But again, as far as her fear was concerned and the comparison that had got hold of her choice, it was absolutely made sense. So it will make even the brightest of us, and we were all pretty bright, it will make even the brightest of us get to some really weird conclusions really quickly.
Then from personal experience, I seem to then get into the comparison because I'm looking for what that change might be, and then you end up on social media searching for, you want to be like this person, you want to be like that person, but you don't actually understand anything about them, and then you're like, well, how do I get there for myself? So that seems quite overwhelming sometimes.
Even being aware that that's what you want to change can be enough. And it might be then, the world or the universe does the next bit, which is you bump into a friend that says, oh, by the way, I'm seeing so-and-so that you should come, and you end up talking to them, and they give you that lightning bolt. Or someone leaves a book next to you on the tube. Before you know it, it's this amazing journey of discovery that's able to give you what you've been needing. So I would say even being mind open, heart open, ears open, eyes open to what could be your answers, and I say plural, and following the breadcrumbs around it and allowing it to unfold and emerge for you is really important, because it's so easy to want to, I've got this now, where do I go? I've got my ticket, which door do I use? And actually, especially if it is a larger concept, or it's something that has been, you've been working with over time, and realised over time, if it's taking that time to get into it, sometimes it can take that time to get out of it, So what I would say is, even the awareness is great. You've opened the doors now in the back of your brain, well that's my intention anyway, such that when long after you've left here, or even as soon as Friday lunchtime, you'll be like, bloody hell, that's what Lucy said. And it'll come for you in that way. Even the realisation can be enough. Don't let that, there's this great expression which is always try to choose power over force, because it's you are very powerful, you don't need to force anything, and it's kind of just holding the stare with some uncertainty. We used to play that staring game with kids, if you think you've got a dead arm, or thrown off a bunk bed in our house. But that's what we're being called to do a lot with our dreams, with our beliefs, with where we want to go, to hold the stare, which is I'm a bit scared, but I'm not moving. I'm really unsure, but I'm staying right here, and you'll always be rewarded for that. Another practical thing you can do sometimes is break things down as small as you can. And sometimes for me, that takes you back to school, that piece of paper, the thing in the middle, and you just draw those lines off it, and you just empty what's in your head, even emptying the questions, the considerations, the blind spots. Just get it out of here so that you can see it in front of you. You'll be knocked over by actually the spider's web that starts to weave for you then, always further along than you think you are. Thank you so much for sharing that, I really appreciate it. When I feel comparison, it often brings its bitchy mates, which are like jealousy and uncertainty and procrastination as well, which, you know, cause a really toxic cocktail. Also, for me, comparison feels like a geyser. You know, like you see on National Geographic, like hot air coming up and hot water, and then it comes down again as well. So it hits me twice. How I've gone through that is to change my energy as soon as possible. So sometimes I'll go for an angry walk. My dog's like, you know, but sometimes I really will go for an angry walk and I'll just step, because I need to run the feelings out of my body because I can't think through it. And then look into it, because you'll have the answers, and then it's getting to the, well, so what can I do? Or what do I have to be? Which is sometimes a bigger question, which might need a bit more exploration. But again, you know the answer. Cool. I'll just say again, thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute delight hanging with you this evening, and I hope that I'll pass across again another day. Thank you.